Good evening and welcome to the Monday, April 11 Muscatine School Board of Education meeting. Madam Secretary, can you please take roll and help us determine the quorum, please?
Sure. Director Connard?
Here.
Director Cooney?
Here.
Director DeBeat?
Here.
Director LaRue?
Here.
Director Morgan?
Here.
Director Phillips?
Here.
Director Shore?
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. Tonight, the Pledge of the Allegiance is by Becky Hewitt class at Muscatine High School, featuring the students who produce the weekly Muskie Minutes newscast. I'm sorry. So can you please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. We start our meeting tonight with a public hearing for the certification of the FY23 budget. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing, please?
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Denny, thank you. And Mike, thanks for seconding the motion. Madam Secretary, can we have roll call vote, please?
Sure. Director Connard?
Aye.
Director Cooney?
Aye.
Director DeBeat?
Aye.
Director LaRue?
Aye.
Director Morgan?
Aye.
Director Phillips?
Aye.
And Director Shore?
Aye.
Okay. First question, did we receive any written or oral comments from anybody?
No.
No. Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Okay. If not, can we have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, can we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Director Connard?
Aye.
Director Cooney?
Aye.
Director DeBeat?
Aye.
Director LaRue?
Aye.
Director Morgan?
Aye.
Director Phillips?
Aye.
And Director Shore?
Aye.
Thank you. Welcome to our meeting to all visitors and media representative. Next item on our agenda, the Student School Board Representatives Report. Dylan, we'll leave that with you.
Yeah, so I don't have, hopefully not too much to share tonight. I guess the first thing that I have is we're currently going through Iowa assessments, or the ISASPs as they're now called. Thankfully, as a senior, I don't have to go through them, but our freshmen and juniors are taking them last week, and then they're finishing up this week. Next Friday, the 22nd, is Senior Decision Day at the high school, and this kind of honors seniors who are going off to college or joining a military branch or going off to work, so everyone is included. We're coming up on our last break, Easter break, so we're getting super close to the end of the school year, and I think everyone's just super ready to summer, yes. I just want to give a congratulations to our robotics team at the high school, Fire Island Robotics. I don't know if you saw, but they won one of the awards at the competition this weekend, and now they're going to the World's competition, which is amazing. And thanks to some community sponsors, they're able to afford to go to that. Graduation will be on May 22nd, and this year it'll be on the field rather than on the turf. Just because they don't want to, mess up, on the track, not the turf, because they don't want to mess up the track because of the resurfacing. And then student council is working pretty hard to get prom all prepared and set up. That'll be the 30th from 8 to 11, and then as always, CAPE will follow that.
Thank you, Dylan. Definitely you guys are very busy, right?
Yes.
Towards the end of the year. Any question for Dylan?
I just want to be able to say, I know it's not quite the end of your term, so to speak, but needless to say, there's been a lot of things that, as a senior, that take your mine onto all kinds of things about getting ready, preparing for college. So I wish you and all the seniors the best.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item, citizen speaks. If anyone in the audience wants to address the board, please step to the podium, state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes per Iowa code. The board is not able to respond to citizens during citizen speaks. Apparently, we don't have anybody tonight. Thank you. Next item is the board targets, goal reports. Item A, students will graduate prepared for post-secondary options. Item B, Muscatine schools will utilize resources effectively and equitably. Item C, students will learn in a positive and supportive environment. And under this item, we will have some updates from the Fine Arts Department. And with us tonight, Mr. Jonathan Ryan will start the updates.
Hello, like you said, my name is Jonathan Ryan. I am the Director of Choral Activities over at Muscatine High School. As you can see, we're in the middle of musical season right now. We asked for this opportunity to talk to you tonight so that we could bring you up to speed on what has been happening in the past couple years in the music department at MHS. In light of our spot on the program, we believe that we'll be able to meet all 3 of your board targets and goals in our presentation. As many of you know, we have done a major renovation to create a second large rehearsal space for the orchestra, choir, and band departments. The renovation will be getting its final phase in the coming weeks, beginning next week, with an installation of sound dampening tiles, as well as storage updates to make the day-to-day function better for the students. I'm not exaggerating in the slightest when I say that this update and this additional space has revolutionized the efficiency of our day-to-day rehearsals. We were crawling over each other before, and the extra space has been groundbreaking. At this point, we're going to take you on a trip over to the high school, to the MHS auditorium, so that you can hear directly from some of our music students who are currently in the cast of Newsies. Go for it, Tyler.
This past fall, the marching band earned a Division I rating at the State Marching Festival, as well as hosted their own marching festival in the newly renovated stadium. The new facility was a huge hit among our many competing bands, and will definitely be a highlight of our future events. It has already been a great experience for the daily rehearsals of the mighty Muskie Marching Band. During October, we also had many students audition for All-State. 6 students were accepted to the Iowa High School Music Association All-State Festival held in November. In December, we held our annual holiday concerts that include a combined performance between the orchestra and choir programs at Wesley United Methodist Church.
In January, the jazz bands performed at the IHSMA State Jazz Festival, where the MHS Jazz Band Jazz Ensemble earned the Division I rating. In January and February, our show choir, River City Rhythm, traveled to 4 competitions around the state, with results including a 3rd runner-up and 1st runner-up awards. Our jazz choir and combo rehearsed and performed at a number of concerts and delivered singing Valentines.
This year's dessert concert, featuring RCR and Susan Clark Junior High Show Choir, was one of the best in recent memory. The partnership with Mr. Schwarzenberger's Show Choir proved to be meaningful for our middle school students. The high school music department has been sending high school students to attend middle school rehearsals. Building these relationships has been very positive. In March, we traveled to New York City, where we performed at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum and St. John the Divine Cathedral. We also had dance and singing lessons with actors from Moulin Rouge and got to see our Muscatine alum, Ben Rivera, perform as a member of the cast of Moulin Rouge on Broadway.
Since returning from New York, we have held the all-city swing dance at the Merrill, with hundreds of students and family in attendance, and are now preparing for our spring musical Newbies. This past weekend, we took over 200 students to the IHSMA State Soul and Ensemble Festival at Davenport West to participate in over 50 events and performances. We came away with many successes and educational experiences that will benefit our program and students. The end of the year sees the orchestra at its busiest, with a spring concert, large group contest, and the annual 13th Giles Jocelyn Memorial Street Fest, all happening within 3 weeks. Momentum at MHS orchestra program remains high, with many students representing MHS in honor orchestra around the state. Consistent high ratings at IHSMA contest and next year's enrollment in orchestra being 154, an all-time high. Newsies is a collaboration between the band, choir, orchestra, and drama departments at MHS. We will annually involve up to 100 students in the production of the musical, and as can be noted by the numerous alumni who have gone to work with theater, we feel we provide our students with top-notch opportunities to grow and develop their talents.
All right, they're going to set right now for a run of our opening number of the show. The musical will be open to the public on Thursday, April 21st at 7 p.m., Friday, April 22nd at 7 p.m., and Saturday, April 23rd at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. For your enjoyment tonight, we'll be giving you a sneak peek at one of the scenes from our musical. Following our performance of Carrying the Banner, we're going to let them go, and then I'll finish.
I'd be delighted to deliver it to you personally.
I've got a headline for you. Cheeky boy gets nothing for his trouble.
Oh, back to the bench, look up, please, look out. I'm smashed. Hey, Frenchie, what would you like to say? No rain. No rain. Oh, honey, we like you out there. In the midst of 50 issues, all life. I don't even know who this self is. I got to point it out. It's the smile that spreads like fire. I try to turn to
Hey, Oscar! What on the street says you and your brother been taking money to beat up pregnant trolley workers. Sounds good. A cracker and the defenseless workers? I take care of the guy next year. Hey, ain't your father one of the strikers? I guess he ain't taking care of it. Oh, that's you. Hey, 5-1 Jack. How would you like us to get on you, huh? Maybe we should find out.
That was a teaser. You'll have to come to the show and you'll actually be able to hear it. This is welcoming you to the pain of what it was like teaching music over Google Classroom. That's the sound that we were getting from our choirs when we were trying to do that remotely as well. You guys can release the pose if you can hear me over there.
Ryan,
Special thank you to Mr. Lokensol, who was behind the camera over there at MHS. We really appreciate your time and support that you show to us year after year. Nothing we do at MHS is possible without the support of you, Mr. Christopher, as well as the school board and administrators. We recognize that your support is vital to what we do over there. If you have any questions for them, I know that scene took maybe a little longer than we expected. They can also see you as much as you can see them, so feel free to shout out a question if you have any. Yep, there they are. Hi.
Mr. Ryan, just for the sake of saying the dates again, to share that with our audience and the public, can you please
so
share
not
them?
this weekend, but the following weekend, the 21st through the 23rd, there's a performance at 7 o'clock on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as well as a matinee at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to be able to say that I spent over 30 years doing theater work. So, I don't sing though, but I can tell you, watching those kids, I know that is so much time to get all of that organization together.
Yes.
And these kids on loving every step of the way. Can you tell folks, as in how long has this process been?
We auditioned before the semester ended, in December or something. Were the auditions? Actually, might have been late November. They started working on their scripts back then. I started working music with the soloist back then, and we're now in the stage where we were rehearsing every night for 4 to 5 hours. That's where I'm going right after this. It's where I was right before this. Yeah, so it's a massive amount of time. This is probably the largest cast that I've seen. This is my 9th year at Muscatine. This is the largest cast. 20, I believe it's 28 guys, 23 ladies there. So that's also a unique thing. We've had a lot of tenors and basses come out for the show this year because of what it is. I think you'll really enjoy watching them all on stage.
I'm excited to see it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's a great show. All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, next item on our agenda is the superintendent updates.
So just have a few quick updates to talk through tonight. I think we've already mentioned as Dylan is getting ready to finish and graduate here, we have started the process for looking for a sophomore who will be a junior to replace as Gabriel will move up to that senior spot, and we'll select a junior for that. We have the application packets out to students now in that sophomore class. I think we've set the date to have them return to April 22nd. And I know we're doing some as many things as we can to kind of get the word out. I think they talked about it on the Muskie Minute this morning. I know that Tony is going to be working with Gabe and with Dylan to create a little video blurb to send out to students. So I want to make sure we just kind of cast as wide a net as possible, and we'll set up for some interviews after the 22nd, and hopefully have a name for you for our May meeting to share that with you. So again, we appreciate all the work that Dylan has done and been a part of in his 2 years here. And I'm going to wish him well, but it's not time to say goodbye yet. We've still got one more meeting, so we'll say some more at our next meeting. So with that process going on, the other thing I wanted to update you on is our desired daily experience survey. We did close that survey with close to 1,500 responses. It was 1,465, which consisted of 815 students from upper elementary through the high school, 355 staff, and 295 families. So we haven't had a chance to dig into all of that yet, because with almost 1,500 respondents, there's a lot of just open comment in there that we have to kind of wade through a little bit and look for common themes that we'll be bringing to the board, hopefully in May, to have all that ready to share with you. And again, as we, and Mike, I think you talked about it, kind of thinking about a time frame, maybe in October, where we would do this again, and then do it each year in October, just because school has gotten started by then. Right now it's just a busy time of year. And in fact, I think yet this week we have the conditions of learning survey coming out. So there's a lot of surveys, a lot of activities, just a lot of things happening right now. So probably looking at doing that again in October. Again, we'll bring those results to you, and then we're going to continue to look at, again, as we do this again, what kind of progress we're getting, including the number of responses. We want to make sure we get as many people involved in this as possible. So with that, just wanted to give you an update on that. And then just the last piece, and Dylan mentioned this as well, we're really into the testing season now. So we had ACT last week. We started our ISAP testing. And as soon as we finish that up, we really start rolling into AP testing. And then we're kind of to the end of the year and getting ready for graduation and all those other things. So busy time of year on top of the musical, sports getting going again, all those things. So, and of course, warmer weather. So a lot of things happening right now, and keeping folks busy. So with that, any questions?
Thank you, Clint. Moving forward, our next item is possible action. The following items are considered to be routine by the Board of Education and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the director so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence from the agenda. The items are minutes, employment recommendations, bills and claims, special education contracts, policies, no minimal required by law, shared personal agreement between EICC, MCC, and MCSD Student Teaching Agreement. What are the wishes of the board?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you. Well, those of you who are in favor of the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carried. Thank you. This will take us to item I on our agenda. Approve the memorandum of agreement to implement the educational stability provisions of Every Student Act and the Fostering Connections to Success and Increasing Adaptions Act of 2008 between Iowa DHS and MCSD. What are the wishes of the board?
I make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement to implement the educational stability provisions of Every Student Act and the Fostering Connections to Success and Increasing Adoptions Act of 2008 between DHS and MCSD.
Second.
Thank you. Any question or discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Nay? Okay. Motion carried. Thank you. Moving forward, we move to item J on our agenda, approve the 2022-2023 IJAC Memorandum of Understanding for MHS and Susan Clark Junior High for the 2022-2023 school year. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make the motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between MHS and Susan Clark Junior High for the 2022-23 school year.
Second it?
Okay. Any question or discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay. Motion carried. We move to item K, award contract to Northwest Mechanical, Inc. for the Muscatine HVAC Susan Clark Junior High School and Grant Elementary in the amount of $3,096,000 and change orders greater than or equal to $25,000 are approved by the school board. What are the wishes of the board?
I make a motion to approve the contract, to award the contract to Northwest Mechanical for $3,096,000 and establish that all change orders greater than or equal to $25,000 need to be approved by the board.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Next item, to approve certifying the budget for 2022-23 school year with a total levy rate of $13.42227 and budget of $98,329,223. What are the wishes of the board?
I move that we approve the certified budget 22-23 school year.
Second.
Any question? Tom, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No questions? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Item M, approve the purchase of John Deere 2022 utility tractor and loader in the amount of $54,270. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make the motion to approve the John Deere utility tractor and loader in the amount of $54,270.
Second.
Any question or discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Item N, approve the health and dental insurance rates for 2022-2023. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll move to approve the health and dental insurance rates for 2022 and 2023.
I'll second.
Any question or discussion? All those in favor of approving this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Moving forward to item O, approve the 2022-23 labor contract with the Muscatine Education Association as per the negotiated settlement of 3.2%. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make the motion to approve the labor contract with the Muscatine Education Association for negotiated at 3.2%.
Second.
Any question or discussion?
Clint, do you want to talk about this one a little bit?
Yep.
Just because it's not it's not typically what's happened.
So first, I want to thank our teaching staff, our Muscatine Education Association, for some really, I think, ongoing positive conversations about how we continue to attract and retain, the best possible staff in this district. So as we look at this 3.2%, what's a little bit different about this is really, this is taking where all staff teachers are kind of on our salary schedule and just freezing them where they're at right now, and then adding a flat $2,000 to everyone's contract, okay? And that would mean our brand new teachers would come in at about just over $40,000, which is, again, movement in the right direction. This is a one-year agreement, so that we're going to spend at least the next year really looking at salary schedules and some alternatives to that, so that long-term we can continue to provide that attractive contract to our teachers, both to encourage people to come here and retain staff as they're here. But again, you have to create a model that's sustainable, and that's, again, been conversations with the association that we're all on the same page in what we want and what we're trying to accomplish. And then we'll use this time to develop that new system before we bring it back to you next year. Or if we need more time, we'd negotiate another increase or another contract and continue to move forward until we can settle on that right new fit.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay. All those in favor of approving 2022-23 labor contract with Muscatine Education Association as per the negotiated settlement of 3.2%, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Next item, approve the 2022-2023 salary adjustment of 3% for the classified certified professional employees. What are the wishes of the board?
I make a motion to approve the 2022-23 salary adjustment for 3% for the classified or / certified professional employees.
Second.
Any question or discussion? Okay, all those of you who are in favor of approving the 2022-2023 salary adjustment of 3% for the classified certified professional employees, please signify by saying aye.
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 Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Next item, set a public hearing to amend the FY22 budget for Monday, May 9, 2022 at 7:05 p.m. at City Hall in Council Chamber. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing to amend the fiscal year 2022 budget for Monday, May 9th, 7:05.
Second.
Any question or discussion, or Tom, any information you would like to share with us on that?
I don't have any tonight, but
this is one of those handouts that I give in the board packet, but it'll be updated through April and projected for the end of the year. And obviously, ESSER is one of the reasons why we need to amend our budget so that in those 4 functional categories that you guys just approved for next year, that we are not over in any of those categories for the current fiscal year.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all those in favor of our motion to set a public hearing to amend the FY22 budget for Monday, May 9, 2022 at 7:05 p.m. at City Hall, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Moving forward to next section of our agenda, discussion and information. And the first item is the February financials. So we go back to you,
Okay.
Tom.
So tonight are the February financials. And on our agenda of items, tonight we had our public hearing and approved the budget for next year. And then next Monday, we will amend our FY22 budget. I'm going to skip forward because I have no comments on the first 2 documents, our deposit balances and our financial summary. You know, our general fund revenues, I'm just pointing out about, you know, everything's on track, receiving our revenue-wise. The federal money is what always lags because we only can claim quarterly, so we've received first and second quarter of our title programs, and then our ESSER, what we have actually expended in those programs, title and ESSER, through the second quarter. So I can confirm that we did receive our $344,000 for the governor's teacher retention bonus. We did receive that in April here. So, and then I will show next month on where we're at with our other ESSER claiming, I guess. So, and then this month we will have around $770,000 worth of ESSER expenses just for the what you guys approved at the March board meeting. And then I, you know, no specific comments on the year-to-date expenditures through, you know, February. So that's it.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Any question for Tom? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, moving forward, we have first reading of policies 603, student assessment, delete, 601.12, teaching controversial issues, 601.14, teaching about religion, 601.17, programs for disadvantaged students, preschool, delete. Any question or discussion on any of those policies?
I would have a question on the 601.17. Is this one of those deals where it's somewhere else? Because when you're talking about programs for disadvantaged students for preschool.
Yes, yeah. So it'd be based on the IASB recommended policies, and it's either takes place somewhere else or it's no longer necessary.
The policy stated that we would that we couldn't help all 4-year-olds or all qualified preschool, and that's no longer the case with universal 4-year-old preschool in Iowa. So it's really an obsolete policy. So.
Any other? Okay, the next item is review administrative regulations, and we have 5 of them. 506.10R, school closing due to weather and emergency conditions. 506.11R, disaster drills and disaster planning. 601.0 R1, curriculum development. 601.14 R, teaching about religion. 900.113 R, distribution of materials. Any question about administrative regulations for Clint?
I had just a couple of questions. With 506.11R, the disaster drill, do we have active shooter or hostile intruder training located somewhere else in our policies? And should it be included as part of this? Should it be lumped together with the drills or not?
I'll take a look for that. Mike can bring that back at the next meeting.
And then with the school closings, I know everybody loves to know the reason behind those, and I can just imagine that this is your favorite topic, Clint. So I know that in the past we had kind of had some written guidelines to give parents a day before the chance to find appropriate care for their kids if it was closed. At one point we had put in a policy that if it reached a certain temperature that we would call. I don't know if that's still in effect. I didn't see it in this policy, but or if you just kind of have an idea, or is that in it? Should we give parents kind of a guideline of what we're thinking? I don't know.
So again, as you know, this is not it's never easy to implement this.
No.
Do the best we can. So in terms of separating cold weather from snow, icy conditions, right? Cold weather, what we said is it's really wind chill warning, okay? Not advisory. And so that's, again, it's when combination of wind and air temp, and there's criteria on both of those that we'll look at. So either one, it could hit one of those, right? And it also depends on the time of day. Typically, your coldest times are like 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And then it starts to warm up, and so there'll be times we might hit that overnight, but by the time we get to morning, we're kind of in that warmer area. You also have to, and this is, I think, the frustrating piece with parents is what they hear on the news when they start the weather forecasts. They're talking about weather across a giant area, right? Across that entire map. And we're talking about Muscatine specifically. And so when I'm looking at temperatures and conditions, it's to, right to here. And the National Weather Service has a great website that actually lets me pinpoint kind of where we're looking at that. So, and again, a lot of times this year, we've been warmer than anywhere else. Why? I don't know. We just have been. And of course, it's different with snow and with ice. And some of those things, as much as we want to, make that call as early as possible, conditions change. And sometimes we're forced to make we try not to make it too late, and we try to make it as early as we possibly can. So it's about as clear as mud, the best we can do, right? Again, the things we always, student safety is a priority, right? But also understand that for many of our students, this is the place where this is the warmest they'll be all day. This is maybe the only place they're getting those meals, right? And so we try to minimize the impact to that if at all possible.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Pardon me.
Go ahead.
I apologize. I have a question that has to do with curriculum development. Due to what we're seeing in the news right now about how there's some potential law changes that are may go into effect, should we wait on any of that to do, or do we make our wording as?
So right now, the only piece we're looking at is just the regulations. If anything changes with legislation, we'd have to go back, update our policies related to that, and update regulations to align to that. Since we don't know what that is, we're going to go with what we have, and we'll make adjustments as needed.
All right.
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, announcement, meetings, and events. April 12, River Bend Mobile Food Pantry, MCSD Administration Building, 4:30 to 6. That's tomorrow. I really enjoyed every second last month. I wish I can help this month, but I encourage each one of you as board members to at least try to help one time. It's an amazing feeling after you spend those 2 hours helping with whatever task you are tasked with. April 13, 2-hour early dismissal for teacher professional development. April 15, no school, non-contract day. April 18, no school, TQ, in-service day. May 9, school board regular meeting, 7 p.m. here at the City Hall in Council Chamber. Anything else that anyone would like to add to this list of announcements and events and meetings?
I would just say that we should probably take and start making sure on there that we announce the 6 p.m. Meeting that comes beforehand
Sorry.
with
Yeah.
conversation.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
I make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Thank you, and have a great night.